Most people don't think about what motivates them. Most don't think about why they do what they do. They often have a lot of opinions on why other people do what they do, and they never give the same grace of reasoning for why they do what they're doing for what the other person is doing. It's easy to see someone spewing hate-filled rhetoric and blame racism and bigotry. It's easy to hear about a terrorist committing a horrible, violent act and think indoctrination and evil. It's easy, so easy, to see the people that we don't like and that don't like us, and to see us as the good guys and them as the bad guys. We forget so often that there's far more the same between you and any other person than there is a difference. We forget so easily, especially today, that the majority of people think they're doing the right thing. Or they think they're doing what is right for them, even if society may think it's morally or ethically wrong. We celebrate often our successes over what we perceive to be evil, while mourning any defeats that we think might be evil, forgetting that the other side is doing the exact same thing. It is the normal process, the simple structure of our humanity, to look for something that is different in another person, to explain why they aren't like us, and thus to explain why they do what they're doing. But the truth is that we all are pursuing one thing, and that is peace. Whether consciously or unconsciously, whether we say it out loud and recognize it as such, or we come up with 1,000 reasons for why what we're doing is necessary and must be done, it is all in search to attain peace in this life, to feel fully complete. There is nothing done, nothing experienced, nothing in which we want that isn't about attaining that mystical state of peace. That feeling of well-being and calm. That feeling that everything is under control and perfect. It is that which every person alive and breathing is pursuing. Every hate-filled rant against one group of people or another is based on the idea that if only the world was the way they wanted it to be, they could experience that peace. Every war fought by nations in an attempt to conquer one another is in the belief that through conquest, safety, peace, and prosperity can be theirs. Every horrid act of crime and abuse that turns our stomachs was someone's attempt to feel complete and whole and stop the pain inside of them. All that you've ever done in life, the good and the bad, has been for the goal of bringing peace and completeness to your life, because that is what home is. That is your natural state. That is what you are. You are whole and complete, missing nothing, needing nothing, existing in a universe where not a single grain of sand is out of place. And yet it doesn't feel that way. It feels like we're in a world surrounded by pain, in a world constantly facing loss, where depression and anxiety and stress are the norm, and happiness, relaxation, and peace are for those who aren't paying attention. To even consider happiness or peace or feeling complete when the rent is due, when you can't pay medical bills, when food is too expensive to make meals every day, seems rather far-fetched and unnecessary, a meaningless Pollyanna outlook on the world that ignores reality. People are trying to survive. They don't even have time to worry about peace, let alone think they'll experience some form of peace or calm or control over their life. It's often thought that these ideas are for the rich, a way for them to take the meaninglessness and boredom of their existence and find some greater meaning and purpose, as is often the case with many of these New Age centers costing fortunes to be coached and trained into such. But even in that desperation, even in the want to make sure the rent gets paid and medicines get bought and whatever amount of food can be had is had, is in that a search for peace in this life, a search for completeness, for that moment. You know that moment where you take a breath and you let everything just go, that moment where everything just feels different, a moment in existence where no matter how much concern or problems you have, there is this moment where everything just feels good. You've had it even if you don't think you've had it. Even if you swear that you've never had it and you've never had one moment of peace in your life, it can happen in a split second. Many won't even recognize it. Some have it happen when they're too young to know it. But for all of our lives, we are searching for that peace, searching to come back home to it. You are searching for that peace, consciously or unconsciously, because it is what you truly are. It is the very truth of your existence. You are complete, perfect, and at peace. You are the entirety of the universe in which not a single grain of sand is out of place. We're not a single individual people living these separate lives of loneliness and desperation. We are reality and creation. We are timeless and endless. We are eternal, formed from the undying and undestroyable energy of the universe. And it is that perfection and peace in the chaos of the universe that we seek to gain in our lives. All actions, all behaviors, everything we love and everything we hate is done by others and ourselves to achieve this peace. Because we are tied to the idea that it is something that is achieved. Because it's easier than accepting that it is something that we already are. To imagine that the perfection of existence is us, and this life, can feel almost blasphemous. The pain and sadness and challenges and difficulties that people face every single day seems to make it very clear that this isn't paradise, and this isn't perfect. The struggles and hardships that are endured around the world as people search for food and medicine makes it utter insanity to say that this is the perfection that you seek. But when you let yourself go for a moment and not be the singular person experiencing the world as something you're separate from and have to deal with, when you let go of the fear and anxiety you may have toward death or toward struggle, when you fully surrender all that you think you are and all that you should be, and in that embrace the perfection of your existence and embrace the true nature of who you are, two things will happen. The first is that you will fall in love with all that is the universe, for you will see yourself in all of the universe. You will realize that there is no separation between you and another, that all the pain and struggle and hardship is just a story that you're living and experiencing, meant to be taken no more serious than a movie you're watching on a screen. And when you realize that, everything will begin to take a back seat to the calm and love that fills you. Second, you will understand your place as a wave of the universe, awaken to the truth and realizing that everyone is playing out their role, searching for that same peace and joy and happiness that you yourself once were looking for, and that they are just another part of you, another piece of the puzzle of your existence. And when you realize that their suffering is your suffering, their pain, your pain, their struggles, your struggles, you will not judge them for what they do or who they are. Instead, you will look at them with a desire to understand and help them, with a want to do more for those around you so they can eventually understand the truth as well. You will see that it was never your job to judge the world or to judge what any event is. When you no longer need to search for something to make you complete, experiencing every day the wholeness of existence in this, the eternal now, you will live a life of love without fear, a life of peace without suffering, a life of joy without anger, living fully in the flow of life, without resisting and fighting it, without trying to force your beliefs and ideas on it, just realizing the truth, that you never left home, and you always been this, perfect and complete. Hey, wait 1 second. I've got something big to share with you. Thanks for watching that video. If you made it this far, you hopefully enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed it, we put out one at least every other day. Hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notifications at the bottom of the video. And keep an eye out for the next video. Also, I'm building a community of people who want to transform their lives over a year. It's called the Cosmic Joke Challenge. If you want to find out what the Cosmic Joke Challenge is, you'll learn that and more in our 100% free Facebook group, which will be growing a library of content not available on YouTube. The link will be available in the description box below. Click it, join, and start transforming your life today.